Hi guys, welcome back to another video on Shadow Fight 3. From the thumbnail, I think you know what we'll be discussing today. As we all know, the game is slowly dying. Today, we will discuss why this game is dying and what started this fall, because once, this game was at its peak. Now, I don't want to ruin your mood nor disrespect the devs, so I will give a fair explanation. Since I've been playing this game for about 5 to 6 years, I think I know enough to talk about this matter. Someone has to start this conversation, or this system will never change. I've made this video in 2 parts. First, we'll talk about the problems that are ruining this game, and in the second part, we'll discuss the solutions. So, let's begin. One of the most glaring issues that's been affecting the enjoyment of the game is the reward system. When I first started playing Shadow Fight 3, getting just one legendary item felt like a huge accomplishment. It was something special, something to be proud of. But now, that same legendary set has lost its value. It's become so common that it doesn't even feel like a reward anymore. Look at the sphere compensation. It used to be a reasonable amount, and it felt rewarding. But now, being compensated with just 100 gems after completing tough challenges or tasks just doesn't cut it. It feels like the developers have forgotten what it means to truly reward their players. You work hard, grind endlessly, and the payoff just doesn't match the effort anymore. And then we have the Faction Wars track. Why is it only 3 days of rewards and 4 days of waiting? If we're dedicated enough to play the game every day, we deserve something to show for it, don't we? Extending the Fight Week track would create a more consistent sense of progression, keeping players motivated throughout the week. Also, the Control Lost event is totally a joke now. When it came first time, it gave us Ancient Overlord set, which was a good deal. But second time, it disappointed us with Magmarian. Then, third time, it crossed the limit by giving us Divine Judge set. Not to mention the lucky boards. When they would release new boards every 1.5 months, that was a fun system that made us feel like we were getting a genuine opportunity to earn something cool. But now, the frequency has dwindled, and it feels like they're becoming more of a rare afterthought than a regular feature. I guess that's the reason why Serpent and Triad aren't coming in the lucky board anymore. They are still earning from these sets, so they want to make sure the fruits don't have any more juice left. They're holding off on these sets to maximize their earnings, making sure that once these sets are out of the lucky board, people are more likely to make a purchase instead of just earning them. The fight mechanics have always been a core part of Shadow Fight 3, but the current state of difficulty in the game has just become frustrating. The boss fights in particular are starting to feel more like an exercise in patience than fun. Some of the bosses, like the Stranger and Ancient Overlord, have abilities that make it seem like they were designed to be unbeatable, rather than challenging in a fair way. When we use Shadow or some other abilities, our attacks can't interrupt Ancient Overlord prayer. But when we use Ancient Overlord set, our prayer can get interrupted. Now this doesn't make any sense. Now aside from Ancient Overlord, the Maze Shard boss can throw unlimited ranged weapon. Just watch this clip. At this point, I'm just speechless.
मेरे पास कोई अल्फाज नहीं है, मुझे माफ कर दे आप लोग सारे.
Also, not to mention, the Stranger boss can use dash unlimited times too. Now, let's talk about game mechanics. Some of the mechanics in Shadow Fight 3 seem designed to make the game frustrating. For example, the Steel Dog set, which should be invincible during pursuit mode, can be interrupted by things like Markman's Leash or Konung's Ice Swords. When you're supposed to be unbreakable, why can these abilities break your flow? And then, there's the issue when Steel Dog faces another Steel Dog. When the opponent is in pursuit mode, they can throw you, but you can't throw them when you're in pursuit. This is a major mechanic inconsistency that makes the game feel unfair. Additionally, even when you're unbreakable after getting hit with a critical strike, if your opponent attacks at the wrong time, you'll get interrupted. What's the point of having an invincible mechanic if the rules keep changing mid-fight? Lastly, Shadow Fight 3 should be called Magic Fight 3 or Energy Fight 3 because that's how it feels. Let's not forget Void Anibot and Shadow Colossus. These sets were designed to be so overpowered that players were eager to grind to get them. But once the sets were out in the wild, the developers pulled their usual move. They nerfed both Void Anibot and Shadow Colossus. It's like a cycle at this point. Release a set that's too strong, sell it for a while, and then nerf it after everyone's invested in it. Instead of balancing these sets properly from the start, they keep getting players excited, only to disappoint them with major nerfs after the purchase. This method is getting tiresome. Why not balance these sets before releasing them, so the players aren't left with an overpowered set that gets taken away after a while? Now, let's talk about optimization. As I mentioned earlier, I've been playing Shadow Fight 3 for a long time, and I remember when this game ran smoothly. It was fun and responsive. But now, the game lags even when I'm just in the lobby. Let me be clear, this isn't a device issue. I played Shadow Fight Arena on the same device, and it runs smoothly. Both games are from the same developers, so why is Shadow Fight 3 lagging so much? A lot of people play this game on lower-end devices, and for them, optimization is key. Reducing the graphics isn't always the solution. This game should be optimized better, even for players on lower-end phones. The lag gets especially bad when too many abilities or perks are used in one battle. Sure, the devs promised that upcoming updates won't interfere with the game's performance, and I appreciate that. But what about the current state of optimization? Why is this game lagging so much when other games by the same team run smoothly? Now, let's discuss the solutions. How can the team fix the issues I just mentioned? First, increase the sphere compensation to at least 300 and extend the Faction Wars track. Right now, it's just too short and it doesn't feel rewarding enough. The rewards should come regularly to keep players invested. Bring back the lucky boards the way they used to be, with new boards every 1.5 months. Stop making it feel like they're just there to be a rare feature. The devs have promised to revamp events before 2025, but there's been little progress. Work on one update at a time. Focus on solving one issue fully before moving on to the next. We've seen other games do this, and it works. Stop nerfing pay-to-win sets after players have spent real money to buy them. If you make a set powerful, let it stay that way. Don't introduce a set, let people invest in it, and then nerf it later for a quick buck. That's just madness. Introduce new gameplay mechanics and bring back weapons or combat styles from Shadow Fight 2. Give us a fresh experience to keep the gameplay exciting. Make marathons worth the grind. Right now, we're not getting rewards that feel like they justify the time we're putting in. Address the boss imbalances that make the game unfair. I like the idea of having hard bosses, but not unfair bosses. The current fight system is full of inconsistencies that make winning feel impossible sometimes. Optimize the game for better performance. Fix the lags that many players are facing, especially those on low-end devices. In conclusion, if the devs don't start focusing on the real issues, like the reward system, fight mechanics, and game optimization, Shadow Fight 3 is going to keep dying. As a player who's been with the game since day one, it's really sad to see what's become of it. The magic is fading, the passion is disappearing. We're just left with outdated systems that no longer work. The free-to-play players are the backbone of any game. Take me as an example. In my entire time playing Shadow Fight 3, I've never spent a single penny on the game. Yes, my whole account is free to play. And don't say, but you're a content creator. You get everything for free. No, stop it. I only became a creator about a month ago. Before that, I was just like you guys. I never had an advantage, and I completely understand where you're coming from. Let's be real, most creators must have made at least one purchase at some point, but I haven't. I'm not hating on other creators. Most of them are great friends of mine, and I respect all creators. But I'm just saying, at last, I want to say something directly to the developers or any Neki officials who might be watching this video. You guys have created a masterpiece. Shadow Fight 3 is truly an incredible game with immense potential. It's a game that has captured the hearts of so many players, including myself, for years. Please, don't let this game die. There's still time for Shadow Fight 3 to make a remarkable comeback. We all know this game has a massive player base and a dedicated community that believes in its potential. So, I urge you to reconsider your actions and take meaningful steps to address the issues affecting the game. Together, we can make Shadow Fight 3 the game it was always meant to be. A legend. That's all I wanted to say. I hope this video resonates with you, whether you're a player, a developer, or someone who simply loves this game as much as I do. Thanks for watching everyone. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.